We're live on the Ridge Show, Real Estate Investment Development, where I'm bringing today, I got SkY Groom, which is a local comedian that came here from Ohio, has been traveling the world, back in Sacramento, and now he's here, and we're going to make money funny today, so that's the plan.
Yeah.
So we're talking real estate, everything that I usually talk about, investing in development, and make it a little bit of fun. So that's where he comes in. I'm just plain old straight to the point. So what's up, SkY? Tell me a little bit about you. Tell our viewers a little bit about who SkY is.
Well, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I wanted to go to Florida and move with my brother because my brother had been asking me for years, like, you got to come down here for stand-up comedy and acting. The capital's here. You got tons of comedy clubs. You got Disney. I was like, sweet. I went down. Didn't work out.
Did you have to dress up as Mickey Mouse?
Huh?
Did you have to dress up as Mickey Mouse?
No, I dressed up. Gosh, Goofy. Yeah. I dressed up as Goofy. I'm Goofy every day,
So what did you end up doing in Florida?
So I did some stand-up comedy. I was doing some landscaping down there. I was doing door-to-door sales, which was kind of crazy because you and I had talked about this, door-to-door sales, and we're going to get into that too today. But I did door-to-door sales. It was cutthroat. I've sold cars. I've sold RVs. I sold Cutco knives door-to-door. Went and did the display, the whole presentation and whatnot. And then I also did the landscaping, door-to-door, going, hey, seems to be your crabgrass is growing out of crazy here. I don't know who you got, but whoever it is, they're not doing the job. And every once in a while I'll be like, it was you.
Yeah, I remember you telling. That was pretty funny. Whoops, it was your company?
Yeah.
Whoops. Foot and mouth. So the last thing you haven't sold, I think, is real estate. Man, we're going to get you to sell some real estate. So that's the...
Yeah, I want to learn about that, and that's why I'm here today because I really want to learn about this because, this is a huge market that's going on right now, and I know things are changing and blase, but it seems to be a huge profit right now, especially if you know how to do it, and that's one of the reasons why I came on here today because I really want to ask you some questions about it, and for our viewers, your viewers, I should say, I'm a comedian, I have my others, but I think they'll tune into this. I want to learn about this a little bit more if you wouldn't mind sharing some information.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So we talk about investing, right? One of the things that I know that you do, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, but so what you like to do is you like to take property, flip it, and then turn around, sell it, and make profits out of it, right?
That's one way of doing it. I typically don't do the flipping. I have flipped properties, but typically I like to buy and hold because I know the market really well. One thing I learned was I didn't know real estate interest rates could go up 4% overnight, but they did that in the 80s. I found out after I lost $1 million buying 7 homes in a week in Missouri.
$1 million?
$1 million. Rates went up. Over-leveraged. It wouldn't have over-leveraged if everything would have kept going normal, but rates went on and it put the brakes on things. And in Missouri, values went down versus California held it because we have more demand, So it would have been better to buy local. And I learned a lesson, which is never buy out of state unless you're buying 50 doors or more.
Okay.
Unless you're buying
50
so
doors.
The best places to
now
buy
is that
properties,
just a door or can I get windows too? Do I just
doors
just
and windows? We're only counting doors.
Just doors?
Yeah,
50
doors. 50 doors. Out of state. So a lot of people will buy, and I've had a lot of clients buy out of state because they're cheaper. And the rental income's better, but what you don't realize is if you put down 20% on an $80,000 house, so 16 grand, and you rent it and you're making $500, $600, $700 a month, maybe even $800 a month. But something goes wrong with the pipes, and when you're in those smaller cities, you got storms and you have freezings, and so pipes are busted. So I had a client that happened to him, and he ended up not wanting. He's selling it. So most of the people I talk to, they don't buy out of state unless you're buying 50 doors at a time. So I have that project in San Diego going on, which is 25 doors. So if anybody wants to get involved in that, it's a $6 million deal. It's going to be a $4 million profit. So we can pay anywhere between 25 and 35% interest. So go ahead and message or click the link below, and we'll get you set up so we can have a talk about that. But we're always raising
hold on.
capital.
You said how much now?
Yeah, 25 to 35% interest.
Okay. Do you take debit or credit?
We do. We'll take, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Just go ahead and transfer
good.
that
Yeah,
over. I'll take
go ahead
that.
and run
Thank
that.
you. So go ahead and send it over. But yeah, really, I like to teach people
What?
to become their own bank, and if they're not wanting to do that. And what I mean by that is I see houses as banks. Every house is going to appreciate 7% a year throughout history in the 4 best states that we have: California, Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. Those are the 4 best places to historically buy homes because of the cost of land and the appreciation because everybody's moving there. So 7% a year. So a house, you're going to make about 30 grand a year. So if you have 5 homes, if you can buy 5 homes and rent them out, and I had 15 by the age of 38, then I went through a divorce. So you got 5 homes, you're going to make 220 grand every single year just on appreciation. So does that make sense? So that's why you want properties.
It does. But I'm gonna ask this too. Why not East Coast? Because I came from Columbus, Ohio, as I told you before. But my ex, she bought her house for $34,000.
Yeah. Yeah, but is it cold there?
34.
Does it freeze?
I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's more issues, and the appreciation doesn't go up as much. So the 34, they
But
they
why
don't
couldn't you
appreciate.
Airbnb it though?
Okay.
Like, let's talk about
You could
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
And why wouldn't you do that?
You wouldn't
like,
wanna-
renovate Airbnb. Is that like something that's
Are people
good
traveling there a lot?
strategic?
Airbnbs can be good, but the biggest thing that I look at, you were talking about flipping homes earlier.
Right.
When you flip a house, if you can buy a house for 200 grand,
Mm-hmm.
put 40,000 into it, and make 40 or 50, you're doing pretty good. They're very hard to find these days because there's not a lot of inventory. So we have more demand than we do inventory. But if you do find a home that you can flip, and you risk, your credit, your money down. A lot of times people are paying cash. They're risking all that money to make 40 grand. And I know a lot of people that have lost a lot of money doing that. Because what if the rates go up? What if
Right.
what if there's something that you don't see
Right.
happens? Or I recently flipped a home. I was forced to flip a home because I bought it quick through a client. I would have liked to keep it, but I flipped it, and it was a week before. It was a week before.
Hold on, what'd you
do you want me
say?
to do?
What were we doing?
Take the hat off. I don't want to take the hat off. I want to see the
You have luxurious hair.
luxury. You want to take the hat off? Is that
Yeah, he's luxurious hair. You look like Leonardo DiCaprio in the fucking Titanic right now.
I couldn't see your face.
Okay.
Rose,
All right.
you'll
so
never
anyways,
die.
Can we go back? Thank you.
Like
My
you
hand-
do.
My son asked me the day we're in the pools. He's all, is this as cold as a Titanic? Yeah. So I was like, no, bro. But it's pretty cold. It's like 45 degrees out there. Got to pull under the shade, man. It's nice. So all right, going back to your question. So the reason you don't want to buy out of state a lot because they don't appreciate like they do in the big states I mentioned. So you might make more money on the rental part, on the income coming in, 7-8 grand a year you might make, but then you pay taxes on that. So when properties appreciate, you don't pay taxes on the money when you pull cash out or refi or sell and then when exchange. So if you make 7% on a $300,000 house, you make what, 21,000 plus principal pay down. So you're making about 25 grand. If you do it on a house for 50 grand,
better than mine, but
for 50 grand times 7%, you're making like $3,500. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
you're making, but people see, oh, that cash. So if you take 3,500 and 8, so you're making 11 versus 25 plus 4,000. So you're making 29 versus 11.
Yeah.
So that's the reason, because they're so cheap. You're not making the money on the appreciation. If something breaks, you're losing a lot faster than when you're doing
Gotcha.
something that's bigger, that's more money. So leverage, it's leverage.
Right.
And for me, so you can flip homes, yes, but you pay taxes on it, 30, 40%. You're going to end up doing more work. It's a job. What does JOB stand for? Do you know? Yes.
J-O-B?
JOB, job. What does it stand for? What was a good acronym?
That's an acronym for something?
Just over broke. I heard that about 20 years ago. It stuck with me because so flipping homes is a job.
God, that's a
Wholesaling-
think about that, guys. J-O-B.
Just
Just
over broke.
over broke. I never.
So there's some called wholesaling. You know what wholesaling is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, wholesaling, you buy big. That's what my company does. Where at Living Spaces, we buy in bulk. So we buy in bulk. We keep on our distribution centers. It's ready on hand. So we get a discounted price for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
This is where it is. And then we're able to sell it at a lower price than anybody else.
Correct.
Because we bought it in bulk and we've kept it.
So wholesaling real estate is you buy a home. I say, hey, It looks like your AC's out. You need a roof. You need.
I need a roof. Look, it's moss up there. Damn it.
Your mom died. She gave you the home and needs $50,000 worth of work. You just want to move out and go rent something. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you. Your house is probably worth about $150 right now. So I'll give you $150. Okay, I'll hand you $150. So what I do is I write up a contract. I say I'll give you $150,000. You're going to give me 14 days to make this happen. This is wholesaling. Then you sign. You go, okay, cool. You sign that. Then I take this. I take it over to Mark. I was gonna rip it, but I don't know if you need this. So I was gonna. So I take that piece of paper, and I say, hey Mark, I'll give you this for $10,000. So he bought it for $160. So wholesalers made $10,000 finding the deal. So that's what wholesalers is. So I've done wholesaling, but then I was like, why am I gonna give this to somebody? I'll do it myself. So I find deals, I raise money, and I fixed it, and I done all that, and then I rented it out, and that's how I built up the portfolio about 38 doors.
Oh, okay.
So that's so there's flipping, there's wholesaling, and then there's a BRRRR method. BRRRR method is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. That's what the BRRRR method stands for, right?
Okay.
So that's what I basically have been doing. And I raise private capital. So anybody can buy homes. Anybody can start buying homes. Mm-hmm. I know people that have loans, veteran loans, 100% financing. They don't want to buy. I got so many people that they're just afraid to buy because the timing. Everybody wants to wait until it feels good to buy. Investors buy when everybody else is scared.
Yes.
Because they're thinking smart, not emotionally.
Right. Right. No. That's.
Let's make this fun, man. I'm all serious.
That's good. It's funny because you were talking about the Ozarks, right? So
I was.
Yeah. You said no. I'm sorry, not Ozarks.
That's a great
you said
show.
Missouri. You saw
Thank
Missouri.
You. I like the Ozark show though.
Well, that's based around.
Yeah.
My family.
Is it?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Is Ruthie your cousin or?
They've changed the names. There is actually a second cousin of mine.
In the Ozark?
He bought property in the Ozarks. No. He was a bookie.
Okay.
So
that's not the same thing as the movie, but maybe they just changed it up.
He's implemented in there.
That's cool.
So, but name is
changed.
Oh, it's beautiful. They have this you go on the lake and you get on your yacht. So he had this big yacht. We went there. We did a family vacation, and we went out there, and he got his yacht flown in, landed on the lake. Okay.
How old were you?
I was 14-ish for the first
about 40 years ago?
Yeah. Throw it on my fuck you.
PG, brother. Let's go. All right, keep going.
But
these damn comedians are always cursing.
I'm sorry.
Go
ahead. So we got out there, and it was funny because I knew, going through stuff that he was going through. One day, right, we're sitting at his mom's house, right, and this is in Columbus, Ohio, all right, in an off town, but in Columbus, right. So they asked me to go make coffee, right. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go make coffee. It's right on the top shelf. I go, okay. Look back, I see it up there, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to get a chair. I got to get up on the chair, to get up on the counter, to get up above the cabinet. And I pull that Folgers can down. I open it up as soon as I get down, put the ladder away because they were very particular. My family, ooh, boy, you out of line one bit, your butt is going to be red. That's just how my family rolled. So anyway, I get the coffee, open it up. It's hundreds just rolled rubber band in there. And I'm like, what is this?
Nice.
I have never, what? I was like, I don't think this is the coffee can that I should be using. Didn't find a coffee, but I found some money. And she was like, oh no, it's the other coffee in the cupboard. So I put it back up. Man,
so okay. Figure out what they were doing.
So fast forward. Now that was when I was 14, right? So now we went on the family vacation when I was 22 years old, right, to Lake of the Ozarks. And I remember getting there with him. He had his yacht flown in. He went in.
His yacht was flown in?
Flown in.
A yacht, the boat was in the air.
Flown in. Like this man.
He's out in storage somewhere?
No. He had it's like a Chinook.
Yeah.
you know them, dude. They literally came and flew his boat in the water.
Wow, it's crazy.
It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. So I was wondering, like, what is going on? So anyway,
So these family members still alive?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of fundraising right now.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to wait on that one. Yeah. We gotta make sure he's okay.
4 to 7 or what?
We have to wait. We're gonna have to wait. I'll introduce you if the time comes. Okay?
We should make a trip out of the Ozark.
Yeah. You don't want to get into that
kidding.
right now. So anyway, he gets the yacht out. Okay, drops it in the water. So we go inside, right, and we're looking at the condo. He sees it and he just looks around. He's like, "Okay, you guys, I'll be right back." We're like, "What?" He's like, "Go out to the yacht, to the yacht. Get everything packed up for us to go. Get it gassed up, everything. We're gonna come back and we're gonna go out." And we're like, "Okay." So he's gone about roughly an hour and a half, 2. Comes back with a briefcase.
Handcuffed
To his fucking wrist.
doing some work.
Goes inside. I shit you not. Sorry. I shoot you not. I shoot you not. He goes in. It's about an hour, maybe 30 minutes. He comes out. Says, "I just bought 2 condos. Cash." We said, "What?" He goes, "This is our spot now." We're like, "What?" He's like, "All right, you guys got the yacht ready?" We're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Start it up. Let's go."
That's pretty
So
cool. Man.
we went out. Man, we hit the yacht. There was this big old party. You gotta go.
Yeah,
There was this
let's do it.
cove.
Ozarks.
Yeah, the Lake of the Ozarks. There's this cove in the time of the year. Now, when we went the first time, the strip, it's called the strip. It was packed. Like cars on it. People going up and down, back and forth. I mean, walking. You got girls. You got
Sounds
guys.
like Lake Havasu. Have you been to Lake Havasu?
No. Is that
I've been to
good?
Lake Havasu. It's fun. I recently been there. I grew up in Arizona, but I recently been there. It's pretty awesome, man.
Okay.
There's just like boats all lined up.
Yeah.
It's at the ocean, like you see through the water.
Oh.
Like clear. It looks like Hawaii.
Like
kinda
Bora
water.
Bora?
Yeah, you can see through the water. The sand's all white. It's a lake. It's pretty crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we go out there and, we get the jet skis, we do the zoomies, and then we landed on this island. Everyone's parked up and everyone actually yarns up, or not yarns up, what do they call it? They
This isn't the island that Epstein. This is the.
No, that's a way different one, man.
Make sure we're keeping it PG, man.
Different story, man.
No.
Not that one. So we all rope up. So like you rope up with the next boat, so you all stay kind of in with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you drop your anchor and everything, but man, dude, the party was crazy. People were getting nude. They're jumping in the water. There's booze passed back and forth. I mean, it is just the biggest party.
All right. It's party. Let's stay on real estate, bro.
I know.
This
All
is
right.
good. All right.
So what I'm saying is I'd love to get to that party if we could invest in some real estate with us.
Let's
because
get down to the Ozarks. We need to get down to the Ozarks. We got some family we need to meet.
fuck yeah, we do.
Hey,
So-
man, so
All right. So let me run me through how you would help someone invest to get to that point, because I've seen Grant Cardone, I've seen these other guys, but what has made you
I'm
successful?
Grant Cardone, but younger. So Grant Cardone was a car sales guy, kind of like you, training, coaching, and then he got into real estate. And I think he didn't start raising capital until, which I understand why, because when you grow up poor, you don't borrow money. Like it's not. I don't know if you ever.
I mean,
relate
yeah,
that, but
you feel like you have to earn it, right?
it's about pride. It's like
Yeah,
I never.
exactly. That's
So
what I'm
I
saying.
saved
You have to earn
money.
it.
I made money. I bought
Yeah.
real estate. And then I got to a point when I bought 8 homes in 3 months with all my money, and I over leveraged. I had to start raising capital. So Grant never raised capital until he was in his 60s. He was already super wealthy. So raising capital is one of the first things that everybody should do, but you won't do it unless you have a mentor that's done it. And the reason, because no one around you is going to be doing it unless they have a business mindset. But you can never grow as fast without money as you can with money. But there's also mistakes you make. I've over leveraged twice. I've lost millions of dollars. I've also learned lessons to make myself a billionaire.
Yeah.
Because once you realize resiliency and growing and your circle and knowledge and learning the disciplines of money, which most people are poor because they save money. They pay off their house, which is the dumbest thing. Sorry. which is I'm trying to be calm. My dad told me the other day, you're gonna rub people the wrong way, and you know what, don't care, but I'm really trying. I'm gonna refine myself.
If you just buy your home, you're a dipshit. You know what I mean?
So no, I've worked with hundreds of people that pay off their homes cash.
Yeah.
Thank you, and it is coming from all right, but it's true. So no. So people pay off their homes because it feels good. Because they've been trained, pay things off, save money. Saving money in an inflationary time, because the money is not tied to gold anymore. So they're printing it. So that means they devalue it every single year. So keeping money in your house is like keeping it in the bank. You're losing money. They give you 2 or 3% when it's going down 5 or 6. So they're taking your money. What banks do? Have you ever heard? What's it called? Banking. Not infinite banking. Fractional banking. Have you heard of fractional banking?
No.
So fractional banking, and I never knew this so recently. The banks will take your $1,000 that you put in your bank account, and they lend out $10,000 on it. Yes. They lend out 10 times your money. Yes. So they're paying you 2%. They're taking 10 times your money and making 7 or 8%. So this is what I try to teach people, but it's crazy. They look at me like I'm trying to rob them. Like, what? You're going to do what? Look, you're taking your money and putting it in other properties. So what I've done with my past clients is they'll invest 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. I've had the most amount of money I've ever had one time from one person is $285. So I've raised millions of dollars, but I did this kind of out of an accident, out of over leveraging. Dave Ramsey, have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
So he teaches 90% of the population to pay everything off. And it's better than spending all your money. So it goes spend all your money, which might be better than saving it. Because if you save your money and you pay off all so pay off your high interest, yes, but don't pay off your house. You're borrowing money from the bank for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8%, maybe even 10%. If you're borrowing money for 10% and you can make 40% with that money, would you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way you do that, I need to have him over here, man. He's a little more. Just get my lane. I was joking, but so the way you make 40% when you buy properties, that's the minimum you make. If you take 20% down and buy a house, you're going to make, because the house is going to appreciate 7% plus principal payment plus tax write-offs. So with a $300,000 house, you put up $60,000, and now you got a mortgage of $240,000. You rent it out for, let's say, $2,000.
Right.
Let's say you make $300 or $400 on your money, right? So you're getting $4,000 cash plus the property's appreciating long term. So in 10 years, you're going to make 7% on that money. So you're making 40% on the money you put up for the house. So people don't want to do that because they don't want to manage it. And I get it. It's headaches. I don't want to manage anymore either. I had a lady managing for me, and then I started doing it myself. Now I get it. It's not fun dealing with people that don't care about your stuff, right? But so I've gone through and I had 15 properties. Now I'm looking at acquiring 100 doors and then 1,000. The reason I'm going there is because I went through buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But Grant Cardone tells people don't buy anything under 20 doors or 30 doors, which he's correct. But what he doesn't realize is, to the average person, their mindset, they're not going to go into business. People with money will do that. But you got to grow your mindset to end up growing your wealth. Sure. So you will never outgrow your value, the value you feel you are. And that's really what I've been going through. Is I had to lose $1 million to realize I need to become a billionaire.
And you know what's funny is,
at the end of the day, it's just fuel. Money is just fuel,
it is.
But resourcefulness is the most important thing. And learning from others and getting mentors. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, it's funny because when I see his videos, he's always on his own phone, like on his own like thing. Like if you were really like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like I would like to sit and pick his brain for a minute and really see like truly what his assets were. But like sometimes when I see him, he's only videoing himself and doesn't have like
anybody with him.
Yeah, and
he's
that
also
to me,
70 years old. He's also old school. You got to think about people with technology. Yeah. Even so, no. You get stuck in. He stopped growing. He's doing a lot of cocaine. What happened? He was doing this. I was like, he's doing a lot of cocaine. Sorry, that's horrible. This is why this isn't a show for kids. Okay, but yeah, money.
Greg Cardone, we're not saying you're doing that. I want to say personally.
No, he used to. He used to do it. That's not. So
I mean, everyone's been down
typically
that road.
successful people are hyperactive.
Yep.
They either go into drugs or they go into money. I chose money through all my hardships, through the stuff I went through. I focus on money. Most people, my uncle, actually speaking, kind of bringing this up, my uncle had drug problems when I was young, so I saw that shit ain't good, so I just chose money, right? Most people don't have that, so they choose other things. But anyways, go ahead.
Let me ask you
No,
this.
we got
I know success is a huge portion of what you want to do in life, and I think we
What is
all.
success? What is success?
Success is being where you want to be with yourself, not where everyone else wants you to be, but you be successful in what you want to do. So, like, if you have a dream, it doesn't matter if you want to start a garden and a farm, as long as it's prospering and you're making money, and every day you can eat what you want and be like just good,
Content.
content and happy, and that's success. It varies person to person. I think success is
Civilization
your
shows success as money, wealth, cars, all this. I never really cared about any of that. I just wanted to have freedom, financial freedom. That was the big thing. I've
Everyone wants that.
learned. Now I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to expand myself to have nicer things because, dude, until you believe that you deserve, like, it's a weird thing. It's like a mindset. That's why Warren Buffett still drives his little pickup and all that, because he hasn't leveled up his brain. Enjoy your money. What's good is wealth if you're not spending it, you know what I mean, or you're not sharing it and giving it away. And so,
I agree with you. I think he should be doing something for himself, but I know that he's, if I'm not mistaken, looking out for, and we'll see in the near future, for his family to reap the benefits of it.
Warren
You know what I
Buffett,
mean?
I don't think he's leaving anything to his kids. but
Nothing?
A lot of billionaires don't leave anything to their family or their
Well,
kids.
why aren't these kids
Maybe
doing
$1
it?
million
Are
each or
they not?
something.
Are they not progressing to doing what he's doing, or they're doing, or she's doing?
I think a lot of times there's some people that I do a lot of research and got a lot of mentors, and a lot of wealthy people don't want to give their kids money because the best thing you can typically do, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, is grow up poor. Because if you grow up poor, learn to fish.
Right.
Learn
No.
to fish.
No,
If
no,
you
I
do
agree,
it-
and
that's really. So,
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah. So with I got two boys. Whether I have money, whether I don't have, they've seen everything.
Learn
They've
it to
seen-
earn it.
Yeah, they've seen, because it's not about the money; it's about being resourceful and about finding a way to serve humanity. Because a lot of people think rich people are selfish and hoarders and all these things, but at the end of the day, the more money people make, because I juggle, I've combated with this in my brain as far as like, should I just stop? And part of me could have stopped.
Did you have a
I mean,
Street Fighter fight with the red fucking karate guy
Yeah.
and the white guy? I
Yeah,
can't
wake
remember his
up,
name.
Dreaming about. No, I like to debate things, and like, is it better to live abundance, or is it better, what? Because everybody talks different things. You got pastors that talk about one of the pastors is over here talking about like they don't teach prosperity and all these things, and then he's sending me a video about raising $300,000 to pay off his church and hire a new person. So it's like, money is important. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
So the more money you have, the more people you can help, the more things you do. So I've been programming my brain to live in abundance, and that's why the billionaire, I say that out loud, because when I speak it, it happens. I don't say anything unless it happens. And
That's good.
anyway, what a tip that I would like to give everybody, and I've been teaching my kids this: how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you say it, do it. If you be on time, I was on time my whole life until I didn't need to work anymore, and then I stopped being on time, and I started purposely being late, which I was like on time being late. I was like doing it on purpose, just because if other people were late, my time is more valuable the way I was seeing that, which from a number standpoint. But at the end of the day, I ended up going back to just being on time and being early, because I'm telling you, if you're 30 minutes early to everything, life's better. But how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you speak it, say it. So I've never told anybody I was going to be a billionaire until I told my dad about a couple years ago. And I was like, I've ever told you that before? No. But it was because I've gone through so many things. It was like, the deeper you go through, it's almost like God is preparing you for more.
Yep.
It's like when you go through that dark period of your life, you're going to grow, or you're going to fucking stay there.
Yeah. And it's who you challenge yourself and who you're around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you literally surround yourself with people that are not doing anything, don't want anything out of life, they're just scrounging by, it drags you down. You got to be around people that challenge you to be the better you. Every day that you wake up.
Yeah.
You better be better than today than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people fall off on. You know what I
1%
mean?
better every day is my goal.
It's
1% better every day. And one of the reasons I do this channel is to bring value to people and to share. And if you guys message me looking for a mentor, I'd be happy to coach you guys, whether it's real estate, whether it's business development, raising money. because I'm trying to connect with other like-minded people, and it's one in a million, Marshall's out there, like trying to find, like Andrew Tate, Alex Hormozy, Grant Cardone, and every single one of those people have gone through hard shit. Grant Cardone lost his dad at 10. Marshall, I'll save you that story for another day, but everybody's gone through hard stuff in most cases for people. So the more stuff you go through, the more you can grow through. If you've had an easy, is that right? Would you agree? You got anything you wanna add? You're over there listening. You got anything you wanna? Anything?
The Andrew Tate one. Anybody that wants to pin chicks, follow Andrew Tate.
Now, see, okay? So are you for him or against him, Andrew Tate?
Hey, listen.
Have you listened to a lot of his content? To be honest,
Against you,
no.
what you're saying. Truth, brother.
Have you listened to a lot of Andrew Tate stuff? Like, have you listened to?
What he did to make money, and why he got in trouble with the Czech police and over there, right? Because of why he couldn't do it in America.
No, but he got out at 3 minutes. They couldn't find anything on him. I like to debate this. Let's debate this.
Okay.
No, they took all of his cars. They took everything.
Would you do it the same way he did it? Is my question.
Okay, great question.
He said, "Would you do it the same way he did it?"
If I came from his upbringing, because I've done some things that I'm not proud of. No, listen. So this, okay. So my stepbrother's special forces, 20 years, and he first told me he didn't know anything about Andrew Tate, and then about 3 months later, I'm posting stuff, and he says something about how he when it like all of a sudden he didn't know anything about him, and all of a sudden he was there, like he saw the intel what he was doing, but from what I've seen. And I've listened to thousands of hours of pretty much any Andrew Tate video you can find. There are things he says that people take out of context. But at the end of the day, okay, so what he did, this is a good topic. I'm glad I asked you, for real. So basically...
By the way, we're talking to Dax the Bum here right now.
Yeah,
so Dax, actually, you come over here for a minute and come sit over here with me for a second.
Get over here.
And you guys talk about this for a minute.
So I met Dax at a comedy show that SkY was doing. So so he just asked about, okay, so would I do what Andrew Tate taking him out? You guys missed that. I'm doing a little WWE.
I don't know who I am anymore.
A little WWE over.
No, come over here.
Okay. So we got Dax now. We got some dropping in.
Mm-hmm.
Dax, how you doing, sir?
Oh, excellent.
I never met you. I
No
haven't met
name
you.
calling though, please.
Okay. yeah.
The sir thing.
sure.
Wow.
Oh,
I
the
look
sir.
around for my dad.
So I seen your comedy show, man. You did a great
Thank you.
job. Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun, man.
Seriously.
But I've never met you personally until right now. I
Okay.
just happened to pop in. So no.
That's true.
Andrew Tate. So a lot of haters, and you know what? And that's partly why I put stuff on there. I had a funny story. I had this girl. She commented on my Facebook about like I seem like a misogynist because I'm posting stuff that he's saying, which stuff he's saying is 100% correct. And then I see her out. I've never told the story, but I've seen her out 3 or 4 times in Fresno in about a 4-month period with different dudes on different dates. And I'm thinking, this is what society has come to. Like women are just out there doing whatever and
Working for Andrew Tate.
working around. So basically, what Andrew did. So Andrew, I know his whole story multiple times. Heard different. The one thing when you follow somebody and you listen to all the stories and they're always the same, like he doesn't really change anything. That's how you kind of tell if someone's telling the truth. Because for me, I speak the truth, only the truth. So when I said I don't have nothing to remember. So he ended up getting broke. He was a 4-time world kickboxing champion. Had
You don't
$7
make a lot of money in kickboxing.
Yeah,
you don't.
$7.
Yeah.
So he had 4 girlfriends at the time, different Marine girls. I don't know if you heard the story. Have you heard the story? Okay, so he ends.
Go.
So here it goes.
Good.
So he ends up calling them all over, and they all came in, and he told them the story because I forget. I recently heard he ended up hearing about whatever the fans only was going on. One of them that
OnlyFans, yes.
OnlyFans, right? So here's the thing. OnlyFans is legal.
Okay,
So you
it is
end up-
legal.
so you-
it is.
so he
yeah,
ends
I'm
up-
not saying
okay,
it's illegal.
So he ends up having a couple of his girlfriends, the other 2 left, and he sets up the videos and he's marketing, doing all that.
and they have
he
someone
takes
else
50%.
typing on the thing for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So he's catfishing.
Yeah, and so they got little Filipino boys out there, which hit me up on Facebook all the time with pretty pictures of girls. They're still doing it.
right.
People are but you got these dumbass men that'll spend money.
Right.
So basically, he just tapped into a market, and he made a better system for what they were already doing.
The question is, would you
Would I do that?
tap into the same market?
You know what?
Yes or no?
Honestly, yeah, I probably would.
Oh,
yeah,
my
100%.
goodness. God.
But here's the thing. You're not forcing them. You're not forcing them, Dax. They're pretty girls. They're talking. They do whatever they do.
Could you leave out the stuff about Christianity then?
Okay, so that's a good.
It's one or the other, brother.
That is true.
You helping people build their wealth while housing other people.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. I have nothing against that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you understand the way he made his money. I appreciate that he was honest about it. I do. I appreciate. It's just not the way I would do it.
I'll give you an example.
It's not the way I would do it.
And I'm not.
That's all.
But you can't say it because you didn't grow up the way he grew up. So this is, maybe, I don't know if you did. But as far as, I'm thinking about my next thing. So I grew weed for 8 years. Okay? I grew weed for 8 years before it was legal.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I played in the gray zone.
Right.
Maybe I get judged for that later. At the end of the day,
you don't have a time machine. You can't go back
I'm
and
trying
change
to do the best I can do. So I'm not saying, and he doesn't say he's perfect. I'm not saying he's perfect. But when you grow up poor and not the best people around you, that's why they say don't judge. So I'm not saying I would do it now. I don't know how that came out. I don't know what I said.
All I wanted
I'm just saying when I was his age, because I'm 41. When I
Right.
was growing weed before my kids were born. Once my son was born, I stopped. And I never even really smoked weed, hardly ever. But it was natural. I found ways of justifying it, which is the same way. So I'm not saying it's right. So he isn't doing it now, as far as I know. But maybe I don't know.
We don't know.
But here's the thing. Then let's talk about Donald Trump. So and here, open it up. Hey, what happened to my video? Are we still?
It went to a phone call.
All right, let's go back. Oh man.
It went to a phone call. I'm sorry. I didn't call you.
No, that's okay. All right,
No,
we'll go
you're
back.
good. You're good. Okay.
All right, so starting back from square one, we'll get that edited in. You're gonna have to edit. I got a phone call. So Donald Trump, a lot of people hated him. I look at the good. I try to find if I got somebody that I can learn from, I focus on that. So all I'm saying is Donald Trump. There may be things womanizer. I don't really know.
That's not how he made his money, though.
No. That's how I mean. No. I'm talking about that's how people view
His personal life.
Personal life. But business-wise, that's how. So my point is,
business-wise, he set up contracts to screw over the subs, and then he sued the subs and never paid them.
I don't know anything.
I
about
learned
that.
a lot from that because I worked for construction companies, family construction companies.
That was when he went through the bankruptcies.
Yes, and they used the bank. He didn't actually bankrupt three casinos. Just like Fox News said, him not paying his taxes showed he was very smart.
Yeah.
To not pay his taxes.
Use the laws.
They basically pulled all the money out of the casinos that they were making and then bankrupted them so they didn't have to pay their taxes or anything.
But it wasn't that.
So the thing is,
$1 billion because of the economy or something with the.
But he didn't actually lose the money; he just lost it on paper.
Correct.
Right.
So he took it out.
Those
he was $1 billion broke,
aspects, again, it's a person-to-person basis, right?
Yeah.
And again, building wealth through real estate and like helping other people build their wealth while housing other people. I can't say anything wrong about that.
That's so I get what you're saying.
The way I am, like how I used to be a drunk. If someone's making all their money off of selling alcohol to people, right? I'm not going to hate them, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Agree. Same thing. I bartended, always thought about bartending or opening a bar because of the money. But at the end of the day, I don't want to encourage that. So
that's all. That's all.
I agree. I agree.
You can learn techniques from a person and not make money the same way.
So yeah, I don't promote the bad shit you do, but I also think a lot of people twist shit and make it worse than what, and that's so I defend them on that realm just because people don't think very much. Like a lot of people out there don't really think about the full picture. So sometimes people go direct to, he's he's prostituting women or whatever, but they don't even. So instead of looking for all the good things that he's doing, they're picking out the thorn in his eye versus. Why did I keep this?
I don't know why that is. I'm so good with technology too. I should know. No.
Yeah. So anyways, so are you from Fresno?
Yes.
Born and raised?
More or less. I was born in Seattle, moved here at 2, so I don't even remember moving.
Cool.
Yeah.
How'd you meet Mark? Just a comedy show?
I met Mark through a mutual friend who is a classic flaker.
Oh, yeah?
And so, like, I wanted
the worst.
to do some things for him. His passion, because he grew up in the foster system, was to start a boys' home that is legitimately for the boys. That isn't a way to scam the federal government out of money. Like, you know, like
Yeah,
the white
truly
people
trying
in
to-
Virginia that slave out black kids and make $200,000 a year off each black kid that they're slaving out. Also make it.
$200,000?
Yeah. There's
Never
money in
heard
it.
that.
There's money in it.
Never heard that. $200,000 per kid, though?
Yeah, you keep applying for all the grants and whatnot that's available, while at the same time working them and taking the money that they earned for you and buying property with it. There was a couple in Virginia that literally did that.
crazy.
Kind of lit a fire in my rear.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, there's all kinds of ways to
And I don't
government support, and
I
no one
don't
knows about any
hate
of it.
rich people. I don't hate people that make money.
Just
It's just
morals.
me personally, in my personal life, what I choose, how I choose to do it. And again, I love that you are presenting that you don't have to be, you know, one of those greedy, we're going to undercut the government, we're going to undercut everybody else, and we're going to steal from people in order to build wealth. And you're doing something good for your community at the same time. You can do that, and you're proof of it.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Dax.
There we go.
Dax, was that a
The
TV
Bum.
show?
Oh no,
was
there
it-
was Dexter. There
Dexter?
was a
Oh, that's-
cartoon.
Dexter.
Yeah.
So why do you go by Dax the Bum?
I go by Dax the Bum because, just to be completely honest, it disempowers the word when I claim it. Not unlike how like
Disempowers
maybe
the
our
So you're-
African American
you're giving it-
brothers
you're giving
disempower
it-
the word.
Yeah.
I'm taking it from them. And by the way, it's because
You're making it something that's not looked down upon.
right, like you can go ahead and try. I don't look down upon myself because I am not gainfully
not making it-
employed.
you're-
I do not pay taxes. I am not a productive member of the economy.
That's okay.
I'm still the same person. It's okay.
Yeah.
And again, you being a very productive member of the economy, I don't hate you. I don't look down upon you for what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
More power to you,
That's
man.
the whole part of the freedom to do what you want and not.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
So
Hey, I'm not sitting here going, Andrew
you grow
Tate.
up-
Andrew
did you-
Tate should be in prison. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that. No.
did you grow up poor? How'd you grow up?
Oh, I grew up dirt poor, ditch bank, Okie hillbilly.
Yeah. I grew up pretty poor, man. Pretty poor. So not the ditch big hillbilly, but pretty.
I've had 3 careers.
You've had 3 careers.
Yes.
Oh, how old were you when you stopped working?
Stopped?
Yeah.
It was during COVID. Or
2020.
right after COVID.
How old
yeah.
were you?
Oh, like right around 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
50. What was your last career?
I was a general foreman in the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers.
Okay, so you've been an electrician for a long time.
Well,
Sounds like. Or
A construction worker.
construction worker.
Yeah. Before that, I was a mixed martial artist. Before that, I was a Marine.
How many? What about your black belt?
Black
what do you-
belt. I got a leather belt. I got
What's
it
your-
from Sears and Roebuck.
I gotta show you. Super. So, what kind of
Oh, what kind of
jiu-jitsu?
martial? Yes, I did learn. I learned jujitsu. I love
did that for 2
jujitsu.
years.
Lazy man, stoner wrestling, love it. Obviously, my base
man, stoner
is
wrestling.
American wrestling, freestyle, Greco-Roman,
Yeah.
and American boxing. But I went on to learn Muay Thai and American style kickboxing, pancration. So
Isn't that the pancrete? Was that where you like hit him in the throat or
pancration?
something?
No, pancration. All it really is up in Washington and also in Japan since like 1972. They've had this style of combat where they competed in, and it was called pancration.
Okay.
Very similar to sambo.
Sambo.
That's what the Russians do.
Okay.
It's like they wear a gi top and shorts. It looks weird as heck. But there's a lot of the grappling involved. At the lower levels, they can only slap each other in the face.
Yeah.
They can't hit each other. And then Boss Rutan came around and slapped people unconscious. So
Was that how the slap boxing came in? Have you heard of that?
no.
Have you seen the
that-
slap?
Oh,
Great. What do you think
yes,
about that?
I have. It is the saddest thing on the planet.
It's
And of
crazy.
course, rednecks love it. Of course they do.
Well, it's the
As a
crazy-
redneck, I know. Of course they do.
Let's just stand there and take a slap.
Yes,
It's basically
that's
a
all they
cold
want to see. They want to see someone get knocked out.
as quick as possible.
Take out
That's really
all
what it
the
comes
other
down to.
unnecessary
Let's
things.
take away
Stand
15
there.
minutes to do it in 3.
Yes, that's all it is.
That's pretty crazy.
It's
pretty
if
crazy.
NASCAR were just wrecks. That's
Yeah.
all.
That's pretty crazy.
Take out all the boring
Let's
stuff in
just
NASCAR. Just have them wreck every time
Right, let's throw some oil on the road.
on the road. Yeah.
Slap box. That's crazy. Me and my kids watched it for a little bit though. It's pretty. And then we start slapping. I'm like holding my hand and they're trying to see how hard they could hit me. And I'm like, I don't know. I could do it, but you got to pay me a lot of money because you're messing with your brain.
Okay, I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not because you're gonna think like you're thinking, but
Yeah,
what do you?
but you see some of the guys that did it for a while, what the side of their head looks like, and again,
No,
the stutter.
Yeah, you're fucking with your brain, man.
So you can stand there and get slapped.
the $1 billion working machine right here.
If I wanted to get slapped every night, I would just go
Stay
and
married?
hit on every woman in Outlaw. But I don't mean to spin it on you.
No, go
But
ahead.
to be
Spin it.
completely honest, and I loved it, you talking about the difference between the old school thinking of saving your money.
Yeah, let's go back.
Yeah,
Keep it on
because
track.
you kind of went away because you're
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna honestly. People need to speak more truth on that because it is the truth.
People don't want to know. This is my opinion. So Dave Ramsey did what I did. He over leveraged and he went and he filed bank and he lost it all and he started over. I almost did that 3 years ago and I just climbed the hell out.
Yeah. Oh.
And climbed the word. I'm still climbing out of it, and I've just been climbing. And it was the hardest thing to do. Versus it would have been easier, but it would have been going against my word. So in my opinion, he took the easy road and let it all go and start over and save. But more people will listen to you when you tell them the easy thing to do. Save is easy. Put your money in 401k, work till you're 65, then retire. That's easy. When you tell people the truth, you could get free. I was free by 38. I didn't have to work by 35, really. 38. Didn't have to work. Could have stopped, but I kept going, and rates went up, and then I just went back. So, and I was listening to things where it said, once you hit your goal, stop. It's one of those things where it's like, do you keep pushing? Do you stop? When do you? This is, I think, a juggle that a lot of people either you want to remain comfortable or you're extremist trying to keep pushing and become the best version of yourself.
LLC or S corp?
Both have
Okay,
one of each. So LLC is for rentals.
So once that one, like you say, you keep going, that one's doing its thing, you're setting up the next one.
That's the plan. Yeah.
And then you're setting up the next one.
When
and
I
by
went
the
through a
way,
divorce-
if something happens with the first one, you just move all the assets to the next one.
That's what I'm learning, and we're actually in the process of doing some things like that. So man,
Speak truth, brother. Speak truth.
no. There, for me, so I filed bankruptcy, and we're gonna be real here. So I filed bankruptcy. I don't know how many years ago, about 10 years ago, and it was all out of pride. I made a couple mistakes; they were all out of pride. So when somebody stabs you, you want to stab them back, and that's why I turn the other cheek, man. Like I finally believe in it. And I did a video.
Vengeance is a fruitless enterprise.
It is.
a
It is
fruitless
exhausting.
enterprise.
It is exhausting.
Vengeance ain't worth it,
Forgiveness.
folks.
That's why the whole forgiveness, man. I've been reading
It's
the
better
Bible
for
so much.
you to forgive.
100%, but I had to learn. Smart man learns from his mistakes. Wise man learns from others. Well, in my 30s, in my 20s, I was so. Yeah. Every day, you're like, what you do? But and that's why I'm so passionate on helping younger people, man. But people, their ego, your ego keeps you. You don't want to learn. So this is what it is. When I explain real estate to people, I'll tell them how to do it. They go, "Oh, that makes sense." And they go, but I just right now, it's just because it's uncomfortable, because I've never done it. I had a girl a few months back tell me she's been looking for someone to help her, to teach her how to pull money and do this, and she couldn't find anybody. She couldn't get approved. I showed her how to do it, did it all, and then her and her husband. One of them will be the weaker link, and one of them bring the other one down. That's all I see. That is the problem with civilization, is that we want comfort.
Ooh. Oh, don't even get me started.
That is everything. Comfort, man. And so I like a comfort for a little bit, and then I'm like, let's go. Because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yes.
And that's the problem with it. And for me, being around people, I try to limit who I spend my time with, because I've been attacked and try to bring down by everybody. but it's all out of weakness. So when someone's weak, they'll stab you when they're hungry. Like, right? So, but if someone's strong, so I'm getting off subject here. Let's go back to the reason Dave Ramsey, everybody follows him, and they rather do that because it's easier. But what's not easier will give you freedom. And it's like, so if you got money in one house and it's almost paid off, I got clients that got millions of dollars in their houses and they won't pull them and do more. They stop building. They're comfortable. But it's more risky leaving it that way. So for me, it's not about money. It's about becoming the best version of myself. And the only way to do that is to grow. And the only way to grow is to grow a business. Because I've grown myself, but you can only grow yourself so much. Once you learn something, you must teach it, in my opinion, and you just try to help people and grow. So, going back to your question and what you said about Christianity, and so I didn't grow up in church, didn't start looking for God until I had everything at 24, had a house, had everything, had money, and I still wasn't happy, and I started looking for God. And most people don't start searching for Jesus and God and something else. Most people don't start searching until they have done everything people look for things to satisfy a need in them, right? They either look for a partner to fulfill something versus being fulfilled on your own. Once you're fulfilled on your own, then you will attract the things, better things. So the person I was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, everybody in my life back then is pretty much gone because I'm not that same person. But by growing, and I'm sure you've gone through some, have you ever gone through transitional stages?
No, never. Yes.
Tell me your most memorable transition stage.
Well,
If you don't mind.
Well,
We're getting
no,
real.
honestly, is my last one. But one thing, tell me if I'm saying a false statement here, please. Instead of you investing your time and your effort into being better at your career or your job, you, my friend, invested your time and your effort into you.
That's what I've been doing the
into
last
being
5 years.
a better person.
That's what I've been doing the last 5 years.
And those dividends pay off the rest of your life.
100%. I honestly have been like reading a book every single day, whether it's
Excellent.
Audible, for the last 5 years. And before then, I was working and growing, but not as much. I was growing an hour or two a day to growing 5 or 6 hours a day. And you don't always see the benefits of that right away. But at the end of the day, you can't take it with you. But I still believe the only way to make the most difference I still believe money is a tool. It gives you options. So the more
It's
options,
just the
right?
fuel.
So
It's
it's
just
just
the
fuel.
fuel. Yeah.
So what fire are you going to go out? And I think God's been preparing me, putting me through fires, allowing me to go through fires. Maybe I put a couple of myself, but allowing me to go through the fires, which has just been purifying me and making me better. And you said, how old are you now?
54.
54 years young?
Yeah.
That's good, man. You got another like 67 years.
And you said transition, right? So my latest one was the most profound for me. Okay.
Tell me more.
Since we touched a little bit on Christian, ideas, if I could compare it to something Paul told the people in Corinth, he said, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out, right? For me, and it's a personal thing for me, I would never recommend this or tell anybody else they have to do this. My own love of money ended up offending me. I lived lies where I told people, oh, it's to feed my family, or I'm just trying to take care of my family. No. I enjoyed stacking up money. I enjoyed doing all the cute little tricks to do it. I enjoyed undercutting my coworkers who were, my competitors. And that, I was not being an authentic, good person because of my love of money and because it offended me so much that I was not my real self, my best self because of that I plucked it out of my own life and I threw it away. And it was the best thing I could have done.
Do you feel like you were doing that because you didn't, I'm just curious, but because you didn't have value, like you were seeking value somewhere, right?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Like, 'cause
Absolutely.
you get value.
I felt so good when I pulled the rug out from one of my competitors and I flipped it on them and their contract failed and then mine
Really?
succeeded. And it was all just playing with the spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It was all just smoke and mirrors. You see, the way I did it was the wrong way.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you see yourself ever going back to maybe rebuild? I'm just curious, but like rebuilding with a new version of you, or do you keep yourself?
I would love to build a home for distressed youth. That's what I would love to build.
Maybe I can help you with that, man. Maybe we can figure
That
something
would
out.
be
'Cause
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's
I would
awesome.
love it to where each child has, when they show up, they get to pick the interior design of their tiny home, and that is their living space.
You know
And when
what's
they
crazy,
turn
man?
18 and they
You know
go
what's
to
crazy?
college,
Okay, I'll keep it real. So I went from. I've been going through a lot of things the last 4 years, man. After the board, I stopped working for 2.5 years. I was investing, and then the rates went up, and I lost all my money, $1 million, and then. But I kept all my clients, my investors, and I've been working for them. So I've just been grinding, and then they all, no one's happy. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I haven't quit. I'm giving.
because you knew how to fish.
Because I knew how to fish, and I went back to selling homes 2.5 years after giving all my stuff away. I was giving thousands. I didn't care because it wasn't about the money. My dream was having a family and having kids, and my ex had a problem and ended up coming after. She basically had kids for money, and I couldn't give her what she wanted, even though I should have. I should have wrote it out. It would have been cheaper.
Yeah.
It would have been cheaper to write it out. But I didn't know. No one around me. Everybody's like, yeah, you can't give her. Because I don't come from a family of money. I don't know how to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
So I've learned lessons that I can teach people now. And that's what I'm going to do with it, right? So I went through this, and I can teach thousands of people, hopefully one day, to just write the check, pay your due, because that's who you were. You picked her, all these things. But I ended up fighting it. And every time I fought, and I was talking about the bankruptcy, I did a bankruptcy, but it wasn't because I had to. It was because someone else stabbed me and basically stole from me. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get it back by letting this go. And so it's that that's really been my biggest thing is like my pride, man, let somebody spit on you and just walk away. Like, can you do that? And that's where I've got turn the other cheek. And because
Success is the biggest revenge. It's the best revenge. It is.
And honestly, so sometimes I debate, and I've been looking through the Bible and asking pastors and really trying to learn. Okay, thank you. 5 more minutes. So I've really been trying to learn the balance of, maybe you can enlighten me on this. So a lot of Christianities think being wealthy is bad, and he's a prosperity preacher. He's a prosperity preacher. When they're raising $300,000 to pay off their church, they're just like jealous of each other. Versus at the end of the day, in my opinion, this is because you brought up right now, success is the best. Right? But at the end of the day, it's like I didn't quit, and I pushed forward and I pushed through it, and then I keep going through these things where I'm leveraging, I'm over leveraged. I'm still trying to climb out from the 3 or 4 years ago, but at the end of the day, it's making me stronger and it's growing, and I didn't quit. And the Dave Ramsey way, he quit, and he's teaching people to basically quit on themselves. So by paying all your stuff off, go back to that. By paying all your stuff off, you end up poor because the government controls the rates and everything else. So they raise rates, your value comes down. So you don't have any control. So by controlling your assets, by using your brain, and that's the biggest thing. Nobody wants to think, and they want you that way because the less you think, the more you listen, the more you're scared. And people just watch the news. I saw it with my grandfather that was 84 years old, and he just watched Democratic news for 20, 30 years. And so he retired like 50 or 60 and then just watched and was angry all the time about all these. It's just crazy. So I just think I'm trying to enlighten myself and grow. But I love, so go ahead. What you got?
Okay.
Yeah, I was low.
So to give you my opinion on
Tell
that,
me.
I believe that our walk with the divine is a personal one, and that this society has told us that what we want is comfort and to feel good. The same thing that we get
You think
from sitting
society
around.
told us that, or
Yeah.
is that really what most humans think they want? That's a good.
Honestly, I think what most humans need and want is love. I truly believe that. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about, romance.
What is love what's your definition of love?
My definition of love? When a mother is hugging her baby.
Unconditional
when a
love.
father, yeah.
And that's what Jesus tells us to do. Love your neighbor.
That
like
is
yourself.
the actual whole. And that's what we are trying to fill with new cars that are expensive that we lease.
And when
with
you
a
grow up
big
without
house.
it, when you grow up without unconditional love,
we don't know that it's not going that all this when we don't grow up with
know.
the stuff, we don't know
you
that the
gotta get
stuff
it.
won't make us happy.
This is what everybody talks about. They say, like Will Smith just said, "I wish everybody would get $100 million and realize that doesn't fulfill." But for me,
It's not
get $1
fulfilling.
million, get 10 homes. And I had 10 homes at 38. Then I'll never have to do anything. And then I got that. And I knew it when I cashed my first $60,000 check because I was broke and the $60,000, and then the feeling went away a few minutes later. So it's like once you realize the chase, like when you get that thing, it doesn't fulfill. But how do you balance out? It's still okay to have these things. So that's where.
It
Right.
is.
So I bought a Tesla cash, and then about there's a reason.
As long as you didn't think that was going to make you utterly happy the rest of your life.
So I was broke for 3 years with all this equity, but broke like a joke, like I kind of am, just broke, and ended up getting the cash and bought a Tesla cash. And then about 5-6 months, crypto was going crazy. So I ended up selling the car because I thought about selling it, and then I felt like, that. So then I did it, and I bought a Prius just because I didn't want anything to own me. So
I like that.
So I didn't want anything to own me. So what I learned from that is, I think for me, it's living in abundance, because if you have a poor mindset, no matter what you do, you're going to be poor. So I want an abundant mindset. So that means if I want a nice car, I get a nice car. But if it goes away, cool. I don't be attached to it, but it's okay to have it. That is my.
Don't be attached to it. Don't think that.
So if you lose it, it's okay. So I lost $1 million, and I made it out, and it felt like I was dying for a day or two. And then I prayed to God. Honestly, I lost $1 million in like one day. It was like a decision. Done. Can't do it. And then the next day, I woke up. I told God, "I'll give you everything I have. I'll do my best, and whatever happens, happens."
Right.
And that's what I did. And every day, I've made it 3 years where 99.9% of humans would have crashed. But I've been growing. I've been struggling and growing and growing. And that's the beauty of life, right?
Yes.
Is to grow through the growth. But growth isn't comfort. It's pain.
Not.
So the more pain you can handle. And when you really kill the ego, you can walk around calling yourself Dax the Bum because you don't give a shit what anybody thinks.
Nope.
Is that right, dude?
That is right.
Yeah, I love it, bro. This is the first time we met, man. Maybe we should do this again.
Hey, I
If
have
you're
no
down.
problem doing it. I love that you speak truth, because people do need to hear the truth. That, man, savings was for the 1950s. It worked back then.
With
it
gold,
doesn't
gold
work.
standard.
Right.
We're not on the gold anymore,
It
so
doesn't
they're printing
work
money.
now, and we need to be honest with people about it.
Thank you. Be your own bank. Stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, thanks, man. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, no